What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Benzinga Live. We have a packed show today, as always. Coming up right now will be Ben Rabizadeh. We will be talking about a new pick from his. Of course, Ben is the one that gave us Air from live trading, or story trading, sorry, and Air just skyrocketed after he came on the show and pitched it. So excited about his new pitch. After that, we will have Neuroscene CEO Ron Bath, and then after that, Matterport CEO RJ Pittman. Nick Shaheen will be joining us at 1:30, and somewhere squeezed in between there, we will get to some live Benzinga trivia. Should be a great, fun, informative day. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get the show started. Let's hit.
This is Benzinga Live. Spencer Israel and producer AB. What's up, everybody? How we doing?
Someone told me buy high, sell higher.
Let's get Matt Hammond on the show to talk some IPOs. Jake Wujasek from Trend Spider. We have a breaking news.
Ben, how is it going? It's great to get you back on the show. Apologies for, could you tell me how to pronounce your last name? I always mess it up.
Yeah, Rabizadeh.
Rabizadeh.
That's it.
Am I doing it right?
That's good.
All right. Well, you want to go ahead and get your screen share. We will get your slideshow up and we'll get to your new stock pick. Again, Ben is the one that brought us Air, DRIO, SMSI. So Ben, I'm excited to learn what your new pick is. I know the rest of our audience is. So let me know when you have your screen shared and I'll go ahead and pull it up.
Okay, sounds good. Hope you're holding up in the market turmoil.
Yeah. Just a quick note before we start off. I mean, let me bring my screen back up here. SPY is up right now, almost 2%. So a strong day. We look at these daily candles after a couple red days. The SPY's coming back, so it's good to see the markets bouncing back today after a couple red days. Like I said, buy the dip worked again, Ben.
Great. Well, we'll see what happens. All right. So thanks for having me back again. We have are we have a problem with the flickering there?
Yeah. You want to try refreshing your screen maybe, and we'll see what happens.
All right. There we go. How about that?
All right. Looks like we've got it. No flickering this time. Here we go.
There we go. Quick disclaimer, story trading is not an investment advisor. Investing in securities involves significant risk of loss. So I have a new pick. It's a COVID play. This is actually a story trading VIP pick as of a few nights ago, Monday night. Let me tell you a little bit about how I got into this before I reveal the name. Last Friday, it was Black Friday. The market was in turmoil. There was that new COVID variant that came out, and I had a COVID watch list that I've had from a long time ago, back in the day, the first time this happened. So I caught a stock there that caught my eye. I said, let me do this for a quick day trade. In fact, I day traded a couple stocks that day. I ended up holding the stock on Friday because I liked the trading action. And then Friday, right after the market closed, I started researching it, did some fundamental research. I really liked what I saw. I ended up on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, every day this week, adding to my position, adding to my position, adding to my position. It is now my largest position in my portfolio. It's the only stock I've been adding in this market turmoil environment. It's been pretty much up every day since Friday. So what is that COVID play, that new VIP pick? Ticker symbol XSPA, Express SPA. That's right. This is a company whose core business is, or I should say was, spa services in airports. XSPA was almost decimated from COVID. They almost disappeared. Their stock price went to a split adjusted 15 cents before they completely reinvented themselves. I have a really exciting, good, comprehensive presentation for you. I'm going to try to go through it as quickly as I can because I know you have other guests. But stay tuned till the very last slide because I got a mic drop on the very last slide about XSPA. All right. So Express Spa, as I said, started as a spa, but they reinvented themselves. What did they do here in the past year and a half? They created an umbrella group, Express Spa Group, and created two subsidiaries, Express Check, which is the COVID play that we're going to talk about, and also Treat. So now they have three components. Their legacy business, XSPA, Express Check for COVID checking at airports, COVID testing, and now this new service, Treat, which we'll get into a bit later. So Express Check, maybe you've seen it at some of the airports. This is what it could look like at some of the setups in the airport. This is their major business. Now, before I get into the story, I want to show you the chart. What's the story behind the XSPA trade? What we try to do at Story Trading is understand price action through the four pillars of sentiment, catalyst, fundamentals, and technicals. And you can see here, I've annotated some things here. We had the COVID crash. We had them reinventing themselves with the plans to go into COVID testing, use those facilities in the airport for COVID testing. You see the volume surge coming in. The price surge started happening when they started getting traction with their plans. Then you had all the COVID plays pulling back because vaccines came in. You had a secondary pop here because they had some additional traction, but because of poor sentiment with COVID and because of some offerings they did here, it didn't take hold. And then you get into this long consolidation period where COVID plays are basically left for dead. So that's the story until Friday. So what happened? First, let's go into the fundamentals. We did talk a little bit about those three things. So they did an offering. They did probably a series of offerings over the past year and a half to really dramatically improve their balance sheet. We'll get into that in a second. They just reported Q3 earnings, which we'll talk to. They flipped to profitability, their best quarter ever by far. It was a blowout. They also have the CDC Pilot program, which you may have heard of, for border control of infectious disease monitoring. That's some optionality upside in the business. So we'll get into more of all of this stuff. There's a few charts you can look at. You can see they have lots of cash now, over 100 million in cash, very low enterprise value, even though their business is doing 10 times better than it was when the enterprise value was much higher last year. You can see their sales and profit exploding here in the last quarter. You can see here another way to look at their valuation. The EV revenue ratio is at a low, basically, very low. If it gets anywhere near those multiples, you can see the possible returns over here. But let's dig into the Q3 earnings report. This is the best results in company history. It's just like a week ago, or no, 2 weeks ago, best results in company history. $27 million in revenue, 5.6 million net income, 8.7 million adjusted EBITDA, 109 million cash, and only a 90 million enterprise value. You do the math there to figure out what you think this might be worth fundamentally. They also are guiding for 500 million in revenue by 2025. They're doing a share repurchase program that's active. They already bought 250,000 shares last quarter out of 15 million share repurchase program. And they also have that 2 million CDC pilot program, which 75% of that revenue is going to be recognized in Q4. That pilot program just started after the quarter ended. So that's going to come into Q4. A little bit more about this COVID testing, Express Check it's called. This just launched in June 2020. But they're really getting traction recently from Q2 to Q3, even though people think COVID's dying, their tests are going up sequentially, right? And really what's driving the revenue is they're offering now a rapid PCR test, which they charge $200 to $250 per test. They're doing set Q3 versus Q2, 789 rapid PCR tests a day versus 402, that sequential growth. That rapid PCR launched on March 29th. This is the one they do. They partner with Thermo Fisher Scientific on this Accula test. So that's the driver of all the revenue right now, the big part of the revenue. Now, the CDC Biosurveillance Pilot program, you want to pay attention to this. Lots of exciting news I'm about to share. This is a $2 million eight-week program announced August 13th, but it only started after the end of this last quarter. Okay, they said on the conference call 75% will be recognized in Q4. I have a feeling, well, we know, I think that's going to be accelerated, and I'll show you why in just a second. By the way, this program is a pilot program to test it out with the idea of expanding it. They launched this in 3 airports and testing people, biosurveillance of people coming from India. So what does biosurveillance mean? How they're doing it. This is important. This is kind of unique. I want to spend a second on it. This is not people coming and getting a COVID test. This is the Express Check at the airport, checking everyone. I think it's voluntary, at least now, but they're checking a group of people with a cotton swab, and they test it all in one run, right? And then they do that one test, and if there's a positive, they say, hey, there's someone positive in your group. You may have to go get individual tests. So this is much, much, much faster and efficient to do it as a group. It's called biosurveillance, okay? So that's the fundamentals, and a lot of exciting things just happened since Friday. So let me get into the catalyst, man. This is how I love my catalyst when I trade. I love them stacked. And this one's stacked with like nice, juicy, yummy butter and syrup. I mean, I couldn't get any better than this, a catalyst, right? So here we go. November 15th, we had the earnings blowout with that low valuation. A couple days later, November 17th, we get a price target increase from H.C. Wainwright to $4. I have no fear that this is one of those Wall Street games when they're trying to pump it up to do an offering. No offering here, guys. 100 million cash, and they're profitable. This is a real price target increase, and this was before what happened on November 26th, which was the Omnicare variant. You all know on Friday, the Omnicare variant, which drove the stock to go up, drove a lot of COVID stocks to go up. This one held its gains. Some of them, a lot of them pulled back. Why did this one hold its gains? We'll get into that. But look what happened. A couple days later, the CDC already expanded that pilot program. They added a fourth airport in Atlanta. You may have seen this on the news. It's all over the news. It's been on CNN, Mercury News, The Hill, everywhere. They don't have the ticker symbol XSPA, but this was a big story 2 days ago. Even made a huge segment on CNN with Anderson Cooper talking about this. When they're talking about CDC expanding surveillance, that's XSPA. That's exciting news. But no one said, hey, it's Express Check, except, wow, the cake goes to News 12 of New Jersey. They got it. Express Check. They knew what's up. So these are the catalysts that happen that are moving the stock. Now, future catalysts that may happen, there may be stricter international testing requirements. CDC Pilot expands to full rollout. Add domestic testing requirements. Q4 earnings could be another huge blowout. And also that Treat company, that third company they're going into, that I'll talk about in a second. That's to sustain their business for the long term. It's a subscription-based travel health service. They're talking to credit card companies to provide this as a benefit to credit card holders. So we'll get into that.
Okay, Ben, we got to wrap this up real quick in the pitch, but I do want to mention, if you've been watching Benzinga for a while, you know that our CEO and founder, Jason Raznick, actually pitched this stock on pre-market prep kind of at the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic, and he was right on. So anytime you see a stock that's made a run like this, now come back down, and it's been beaten down for a while and starting to come back up, it's interesting to me.
Yeah, great. So let me wrap it up real quick. I'll fly through the sentiment. The sentiment's perfect here. There's lockdown fatigue, but they're going to do more testing. A couple things I want to get to. Risk of offering is real low. What are the worries? People are worried about risk offering. No way, that's not happening. Worries are management. It's terrible. They did all this stuff. And this is all new management that is overseeing this transformation. So that's invalid. I talked about Treat. They're transitioning. They're planning for the long term to do a subscription-based service. Quickly on the technicals, break the 200 DMA. That's why I got in on Friday. We have Rex, who thinks we got some resistance at 2, some at 3, and then boom, this could go much higher. So summary, fundamentals are great. Large cash position eliminates risk of a toxic offering. Catalysts are stacked like pancakes. The sentiment's a perfect storm for this. And here's the mic drop, the very last point I wanted you to wait for. Some retail, they're missing out because they have some misplaced concerns about prior management worry of an offering and worried about long-term poor performance of the stock. But look at this, guys. This tells a story. You know what this is? This is a chart that shows you institutions are buying, that purple line going up and to the right, 21% now. And the orange line, that's shorts covering. This is not some pump and dump retail meme stock. This is a transformational stock. It went from some stock that people think is a crap company to something institutions are buying. And this got me really interested. That's the mic drop. That's the story. Follow us on YouTube, StoryTrading, and go to StoryTrading.com to become a VIP.
Beautiful. Go check out StoryTrading on Twitter. Ben's got some great ideas. He does the due diligence on these stocks, so you don't have to, although I implore you to also do your own DD to make sure this is a stock you would like to own. Ben, thank you for joining. We'll have to get you back on when we have a little bit more time, and we'll do an update on XSPA.
Sounds good. All right. Take care.
Talk soon, Ben.